Shri Gurubhyo Namaha children, I welcome you all to our online English class. In today's class, we are going to be continuing the lesson of Making of a Scientist, and this lesson is from your class 10 Footprints Without Feet book children. In the last session, we saw Ebright was doing his 8th grade project, and he was trying to find out whether this viceroy butterflies are copying the monarch butterflies. So, he was having some postulation and he wanted to find out. Let us go through the lesson and find out what is happening. It would eat all the monarchs it could get, Ebright said. Later research by other people showed that viceroys probably do copy the monarch. So, I told you a bird called starling. Starling is this variety of bird. This likes to eat the monarch butterflies. So, it does not eat ordinary bird food, it only likes to eat monarch butterflies. So, he understood. Okay, later some other scientists, they came and they proved that the viceroys may be trying to imitate the monarchs. This project was placed first in the zoology division and third overall in the county science fair. In his second year in high school, Richard Ebright began the research that led to his discovery of an unknown insect hormone. So, this was happening and it won the prize. Okay, this postulation, it won the prize. It got the first prize in the zoology division and the third prize in the overall county science fair in his second year in high school. So, he has now come to his high school and the second year in high school. He has now come to a major discovery. He discovered about an unknown hormone. Okay. Indirectly, it also led to his new theory on the life of cell. So, this project also gave him an insight about the discovery of the life of cells. The question he tried to answer was simple. What is the purpose of the 12 tiny gold spots on a monarch pupa? So, his postulate was simple. He had already seen the pupa of the monarch butterflies and it had 12 golden spots, tiny spots on its outer covering. So, what was this for? So, this was a simple question and with this only he wanted to start his exploration. Everyone assumed that spots were just ornamental, Ebright said, but Dr. Urquhart didn't believe it. So, everybody thought that the dots were just ornamental, it is just a feature of a monarch butterfly and it didn't have nothing to support the development of a butterfly, but Dr. Urquhart didn't believe it, but Urquhart had some other thoughts regarding the tiny spots. To find the answer, Ebright and another excellent science student first had to build a device that showed that the spots were producing a hormone necessary for the butterfly's full development. So, the first step, because he knew that Dr. Urquhart is having some second thoughts in this, so he started to discover more into this. The first step towards discovering is he wanted to devise an equipment, okay, which could tell us whether the spots really do produce any hormones. That was the first step. Whether it is producing hormones or not is the first step. And the next thing is whether those hormones do help in the development. So, Ebright along with his friend, he is also an excellent science student. They both collaborate in devising an equipment. This project won Ebright first place in the county fair and entry into the International Science and Engineering fair. So, this fair, okay, it was a major hit. It got the first prize. It also got him an offer to enter into the International Science fair, in the International Science and Engineering fair. There he won third place for zoology. He also got a chance to work during the summer at the entomology laboratory of the Walter Reed Army Institute of Research. So, this project, what it did, it gained him an offer in the International Science and Engineering Fair, and he also got an opportunity to work in the Walter Reed Army Institute of Research, and it is an entomology laboratory. Entomology means study of insects. Okay, children. And this project, it won the 3rd prize in the zoology division. As a high school junior, Richard Ebright continued his advanced experiments on the monarch pupa. So, he was in the high school, I told you, and now he is doing an advanced experiment. These are not things which a normal person could do. So, he had to do an advanced research in order to find out whether the hormone helps the development or not. That year, his project won 1st place at the International Science Fair and gave him another chance to work in the Army laboratory during the summer. So, that project, it won the 1st prize, and it also fetched him an opportunity to work in the science laboratory. Okay, only if he is getting an opportunity to work there, he will be able to use the variety of equipments. Everything will be advanced in a laboratory, that he cannot gain it at the house. Yes or no, children? So, this was a major opportunity for him. Okay. In his senior year, he went a step further. He grew cells from a monarch's wing in a culture and showed that the cells would divide and develop into a normal butterfly wing scales only if they were fed with the hormone from the gold spots. So, he has now come to the discovery, the actual discovery. What he found was, what he did was, he took the cells from the wings of a monarch butterfly and he raised it, okay, in the culture, in the laboratory, and those cells grew into a normal wings of a butterfly only. Okay, it grew into a normal butterfly wings only when it was fed with the hormones from the tiny golden spots. That project won 1st place for zoology at the International Fair. He spent the summer after graduation doing further work at the Army laboratory and at the laboratory of the US Department of Agriculture. So, that project, it won the 1st place for zoology at the International Fair. It won the 1st place, and he also got an opportunity after graduation to work in the Army laboratory and the US Department of Agriculture. So, in both these laboratories, he was able to work. The following summer, after his freshman year at the Harvard University. So, now he has finished his schooling, high school is done. Now, he has gone to the graduation and now he is a freshman. Freshman is a new student to the Harvard University. Ebright went back to the laboratory of the Department of Agriculture and did more work on the hormone from the gold spots. Using the laboratory's sophisticated instruments, he was able to identify the hormone's chemical structure. So, at the Harvard University, and he was able to use the laboratory, and those laboratory had sophisticated equipments. Sophisticated means highly advanced and specialized equipments were available for him. With this, he continued the further exploration of the hormone. Okay, children, he was able to find out the chemical structure of the hormone. A year and a half later, during his junior year, Ebright got the idea for his new theory about cell life. It came while he was looking at the X-ray photos of the chemical structure of the hormone. So, after an year, okay, after 1.5 years, he is getting new idea, okay, for his new theory. He has got a new idea for his new theory after seeing the pictures of the X-ray of the hormone. He was able to see the chemical structure of the hormone. When he saw those photos, Ebright didn't shout "Eureka" or even "I have got it," but he believed that along with his findings about the insect hormones, The photos gave him the answer to one of the biology's puzzles, how the cell can read the blueprint of its DNA. So, after seeing the chemical structure, he didn't think that he has found something very big, but he sincerely believed that he has found something new. Okay? It was the answer to one of the biology's biggest puzzle. Okay? How the cell can read the blueprint of the DNA. All of us know what is a DNA. DNA is a chemical structure. It is a blueprint of how the cells should work and how the cell is able to read the DNA print. Okay, that was the question before him. DNA is a substance in the nucleus of a cell that controls heredity. It determines the form and the function of the cell. Thus, DNA is the blueprint for life. Ebright and his college roommate James R. Wong worked all that night drawing the pictures and constructing plastic models of the molecules to show how it could happen. So, they have understood how the cell is reading the DNA blueprint, and all of us know what is the DNA. It carries information about the heredity and all such things. So, how the cell is able to read the print? That is the question now. So, they were preparing lots of models, they were drawing pictures in order to find out this. And he, along with his roommate, he was James R. Wong. Surprising no one, together they later wrote the paper that explained the theory. Surprising no one who knew him, Richard Ebright graduated from the Harvard with the highest honors, second in his class of 1510. So, he was the discoverer of a great theory. Okay, very silently he passed out of the Harvard University and he ranked the second, okay, among 1510 children. Ebright went on to become a graduate student researcher at the Harvard Medical School. Then he began doing experiments to test his theory. So, now he has become a graduate student at the Harvard University. He started doing all his research work. Okay. If theory proves correct, it will be a big step towards understanding the process of life. It might also lead to new ideas for preventing some types of cancer and other diseases. So, if he is able to find out how the cell is able to read the DNA, it would be a major step towards the science theory. Okay? It would also be helpful in preventing some diseases like cancer and other diseases. All of this is possible because of Ebright's scientific curiosity. His high school research into the purpose of the spots on a monarch pupa eventually led him to this theory, to his theory about cell life. So, from where he started from the spot on the pupa of a monarch butterfly. From there, now he is explored himself, found his way, and now come to the cell theory, how the cell is finding its way. Richard Ebright has been interested in science since he first began collecting butterflies, but not so deeply that he hasn't time for the other interest. Ebright also became a champion debater and a public speaker and a good canoeist and all-round outdoors person. He is also an expert photographer, particularly of nature and scientific exhibits. So, this boy, he was curious in science from the young age, but that isn't where he stopped his talents. So, he was something more. He was an all-round person. Okay, he was a good canoeist, a debater, a public speaker and a photographer. He inspired, okay, he was inspired in taking pictures of natural things and science exhibits. A canoeist is a person who is able to row. This is a canoe. A canoeist is a person who takes this as a sport. In high school, Richard Ebright was a straight A student. Because learning was easy, he turned a lot of his energy towards debating and model United Nations clubs. He also found someone to admire, Richard A. Wehrer, his social studies teacher and an advisor to both clubs. So, this was not it. He was a good student, at the same time he was a good debater, and he was also participating in the debating and the Model United clubs. And his favorite teacher, his admirer, was Richard A. Wehrer, his social studies teacher, and this man was also an advisor for him in the debating and the Model United club. Mr. Wehrer was the perfect person for me then. He opened my mind to new ideas, Ebright said. Richard would always give that extra effort, Mr. Wehrer said. What pleased me was, here was this person who put in 3 or 4 hours at night doing debate research, besides doing all his research with butterflies and his other interests. So, Wehrer is all praise about Richard Ebright, because he was that man. Richard would give so much of effort in all the things which he wanted to achieve. He was also spending most of his time on research on butterflies, and additional to it, he was spending 4 or 5 hours on doing researches about debate. Okay, so much he would put his efforts. He was a very hard working man. So, that quality of Richard Ebright was most attractive. Okay, Wehrer praised him for this talent. Richard was competitive, Mr. Wehrer continued, but not in a bad sense. He explained, Richard wasn't interested in winning for winning's sake or winning to get a prize. So, Wehrer says that Richard was competitive, but he didn't want to win always. He never participated in fairs or projects just because he wanted to win or get some prize. He participated because he was truly interested. He won because he was truly deserving. Rather, he was winning because he wanted to do the best job he could. For the right reasons, he wants to be the best. So, here he participated because he was absolutely interested, and he won the prizes because he was truly efficient person, and because he wanted to be the best in all he did. And that is one of the ingredients in making of a scientist. Start with a first-rate mind, add curiosity, and mix in the will to win for the right reasons. So, that what is Wehrer is telling. Okay, that good sense of him, that effort of him is a basic step of making a scientist. If you have to become a scientist, you have to be first of all curious, then you have to add, okay, first is a first-rate mind, then you have to add curiosity and mix in the will. Will means a strong determination is called as a will. So, you have to have all these components if you have to become a scientist. Just like that, you cannot sit on a table and call yourself as a scientist. You have to have a fresh mind, you have to be curious enough, you have to have the determination and everything. And since Ebright had all these things, he became one of the renowned scientists. Ebright has all these qualities. From the time the book, The Travels of the Monarch 10, opened the world of science to him, Ebright has never lost his scientific curiosity. So, this book, The Travel of Monarch 10, that was the place where he started to know about butterflies. He only merely collected butterflies till then. Only this book opened his explorative mind. Okay, it tingled his curiosity, only from which he started researching about the butterflies. I hope you would have enjoyed the lesson, children. We will continue in the next class. And before closing, please do subscribe our YouTube channel for more updates. See you, children.